All right, that should be live. The dryer's done, as y'all can notice. Somebody got some fresh and clean clothes. Anyways, welcome back, Team DWC. It's your boy TWP Popcorn. Y'all already know what time it is. It's like 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. Yeah, 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. We live on the Rumble Studios tonight because my laptop is not giving my video production quality the way it's supposed to be for the Rumble recording. So, it's either fix the problem or do something better, right? What up, Rudy? Good to see you. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing good, smoking good. Appreciate you for stopping by and whatever you said. You either left a comment or did something. But we appreciate that. Oh, it says hola. Good to see you. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? We got some videos to review for the day because that's what we do. We review cannabis content over here and talk about current events if that's what's crack-a-lacking. Latanya. Latanya. See, had to make sure because I got Latoya, Latina, Ladina, Lafina. You got to make sure it's the right person. I just got to make sure I get the right touch on Latanya's name. Good to see you. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing good, smoking good. Appreciate you for stopping by, spending some time with your boy, making sure I'm still consistent. Corn, which, as y'all all know, it should be a world-ending event to keep me from going live when I'm supposed to be live. I mean, I ain't saying it don't happen, but hell, you know how your boy is. I ain't got shit better to do, right? I ain't got shit better to do. I would roll up and watch the videos with you, right? Hey, right. You know what I mean? If you didn't know what we was gonna do, I was just hoping you pulled up. I didn't care who pulled up because I already had plans for everybody. Yeah, that's the way your boy goes. Yeah, but let's see. Let's get this flipped around because I ain't gonna be all up in your face the whole damn time. Not the whole time. Not the whole time. Flipperoonies. Rumble's not liking this glare on the damn computer. Or is it my camera dirty? That camera dirty as hell. Eh, let me see what they look like now. And a little bit better quality. A little bit better. A little bit better. All right, now go back. That's what we want to see. The screen. Gotta actually make sure that this is sitting right because it doesn't want to sit right. And then it might fall over if I do too much. But hell, we in here, baby. We in here. Anyways, yeah, it's 6:04 p.m. Thanks for the time check. Because now it's time to get to some videos. Because that's what we gonna actually do. Talk about smoke while we do all of that good stuff, right? Yeah, I ain't smoked since before I went to work, and that was at 8 o'clock this morning. For those who don't know, that's called a tolerance break. Okay, April Showers, good to see. Y'all know to go check out the OG April. You know what I mean? She been out here putting in that work in these YouTube streets. We appreciate her for even having time to even stop by to say hi. Hell, they be busy as a motherfucker over there on the network, and we appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, today's videos, let's see. We got our big homie intro beat. You know what I mean? We appreciate him because hell, somebody gotta make me sound good when I'm not talking. And we might as well have DJ Is on the beat, right? Y'all ain't getting y'all beats from DJ Is, you're tripping. The boy got you. And he ain't even young. He almost older than me. But hell, that's the Dark Apprentice. We got 700 pounds of weed found in a U-Haul truck. It's a body cam video, so that should be entertaining. We got home grow band crushed. Lawmakers explode on weed, so hopefully they finna get this shit together. Because guess what? We keep telling these people if we vote y'all in, and then y'all don't do shit for us, we gonna come looking for your ass once your ass think you finna go back to being a regular person, because you gonna get voted right the fuck back out, right? Yeah, that's the only reason why we vote these days. So when we put you in office and gave you a chance to fix shit and you ain't do nothing, you either better have a good enough paper trail on who was trying to hate on shit getting done, or we gonna be coming to look for you for some fun. Shouts out to that Second Amendment because it's the reason why it's the second. The first was us coming and talking to you about it. The second one means we gonna come show you how we feel about it now, right? We done told you, hey, y'all fucking up. You need to get your shit tight. You know what I mean? Ain't no reason why 80% of Americans are voting to legalize cannabis and y'all worried about the little 20% that are haters. Okay. The 20% don't tell the 80% what's good for them. Okay. If you don't like weed, it won't be legal in your house. Okay. But in my house, yeah, I'll be sitting right here with Homer looking like some dough. You dig? But that's another story. Like to hear it, here it goes. Let's get back to the videos. We ain't even gonna give you no more previews. We just gonna hit the play all button. Hell, I'm trying to be out of here because I might want to take a shower. Not that I wouldn't take a shower with y'all. It's just I don't like a lot of people around me when I'm in the shower. Yeah, you know me, I've been having a good day, kind of a bad day. I don't really have too many bad days, but Eh, it was Wednesday, so I was more amped about it being Wednesday because I was like, shit, let me look at what my show looked like. Well, it's looking like a show. We have videos, so we happy about that. Uh-oh. I am not going to say that because I have not read that word out loud in a while. Good to see you, though. How you doing? Hopefully it's a great day.
How are you? Do you know the people in the band? Do you know the people in the band? Huh? Huh?
Why they always want to interrupt my video?
No Spanish.
Bring up this.
How do you know the people in the band?
There we go. Get him out of there.
Can I open the door? How do you know the people in the band? What band? Did you know the people in the band? No. Oh, okay. Here. I don't want it to blow it. No. The reason I'm stopping you is you were driving over the edge line. I want to make sure you're not texting and driving on your phone or anything. No. ID with you? Where are you headed to? Huh? Where are you going? Where are you going? To the end. What do you have? What are you hauling? Oh, I'm moving. Oh, you're moving? Yeah. Did you rent the van? Mm-hmm. Where are you coming from? To Oklahoma. Coming from Oklahoma? Yeah. Okay. What do you have in the back? Hmm? What do you have in the back? What's in the back? I'm moving over there. Furniture? What do you have? Furniture. Okay. Rental agreement? What's that? I don't speak English. Who rented this? Huh? Who rented this? My friend. Your friend? Rental agreement? Oh, the papers? Yes, papers, papers, sorry. Better than you. Is that marijuana? Marijuana? Okay. How much marijuana do you have with you? No. Okay. I'm not finding the papers, boss. Okay. You care if we look in the back? Hmm? Can we look in the back? Yeah. You want to come back there with me? Mm-hmm. Now,
see, this is why I say the police ain't supposed to be doing all this. There's a war on drugs, right? So now every time they pull everybody over, they looking for drugs. Classic harassment. Classic. You see what I'm saying? And it's an easy free case. Because guess what? Just because they say there's a war on drugs gives them a right to be all in your business no matter what the fuck you doing. Now, even if he was swerving a little bit, it's a big ass truck. How you gonna stay in between lines anyways? You see what I'm saying? Sure enough, you're supposed to be a good enough driver that you don't go too far over that before you don't cause an accident. But he ain't caused no accident and ain't did nothing. He just driving and you want to pull him over just because he's halfway over a line. And then the line he's over, is it in another lane or is it just the shoulder lane? Because, it's better to ride the shoulder than to ride into traffic. Like I said, the police have a job to do, but at the same point in time, the job they doing ain't what it is, right? Go ahead, I'll wait. Then he want to go to the back of the truck. He instantly want to see what's in the back. That's not none of your business, sir. I have a right to transport anything. And then it's some snow out here too. See?
Can you get off the phone for me, please? Can you get off the phone and talk to me, please? Thank you. The kilo and the key. Where is it? Huh? How are you gonna get into it? I forgot in the house. Okay, come here real quick. Listen.
Yeah, now you going to jail, Bucko.
Okay, put your hands on your head. Spin around. You care if I check real quick? Okay. All right, come back here. Come.
But that's why I hate getting pulled over, because hell, I'll be one to tell the police, hey man, fuck you, fuck all your searches, and fuck any dogs. I got this amount of weed on me, and that's because they said I could have that in Missouri. I'm a medical patient, and it's my prescription. Okay? Shouts out to being prescribed. He just gonna open the door and hop in like, God damn.
Your friend? What did he put back there? I thought you said you're moving. You're moving?
He's moving his friend. His friend got to move in bricks, apparently. That's a bad friend.
Where are you going? I thought you said PA. New York City? Okay. Have you ever been in trouble before? Why isn't your license valid? It says status is revoked. I don't know when. I'm just asking you. Huh? Huh? This month? Did you not pay a ticket or something? That's not good. How do you know the people that were in the van? The van that was behind you. How do you know them? You don't know them? Oh, okay. Well, how did you? Who put the lock on there? Who put the lock? How are you going to open your stuff to get your stuff when you move? Oh, okay. Go admin real quick. Administrative.
And then here's really the kick, because even when they do say, oh, we're going to call the drug dog could either hit or miss, but they're going to say it hit every fucking time just so they can go ahead and get inside the vehicle. Because then they're going to know by the time the dog do get there how you been sitting there trying to chatty patty their ass. Like, nah, I ain't got shit to say to y'all. I don't know what the fuck y'all want. Y'all pull me over. Do y'all job. You're detectives, right? Detect. Yeah, this is actually why I stopped traveling with drugs on me, because I ain't got time for this shit. Hell, I'll mail the shit to where I'm going, and it'll be there when I get there. Shout out to the U.S. Postal Service, as big as drug dealers they are these days, right? What up, Pendar? Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know when this. Well, it was recorded in January in Ohio. Shout out to Ohio. Somebody I know's over in Ohio, probably G Mama Groves. Shouts out to her. She was live this morning, matter of fact. Now, I would be the asshole that would, I would have some furniture in here because you're supposed to be moving furniture, and I'd have probably dropped a blunt in the couch. Okay, shout out to dropping a blunt in the couch because then whenever they looking around, that's the first thing they're gonna see. Y'all pulled me over and done broke the lock and the seal on my truck over a blunt and a couch. It's the homie's furniture. He had me moving them, and it's one blunt in the couch. There might be 50 other pounds underneath something else, but the first thing you're gonna find is the blunt in the couch. Okay. And anything after that, you should even keep looking. You should be like, man, I told you, I'm just moving. Got the blunt in the couch. It's a bong in the box. It might have had a bowl in it, but man, police just be pulling people over. That's why I said y'all better Second Amendment yourself. Hey, as soon as they pull you over, start shooting. Yeah, I ain't telling you to be dangerous. I'm just saying if you don't be goofy in the first place. But if you ain't did nothing wrong, hold on. Why y'all even pulling me over? Nah, I don't believe that. You just profiling. You ain't got time for that. Yeah, I'm supposed to be a U.S. citizen. That means I can do U.S. citizen shit in the streets. The streets. Look at him. He got this look on his face like I put the fire. This is U-Haul. They'll just be sending U-Hauls for no reason, boss. See, this is why you got to go to the gym. He can't even break the lock.
So you have the key. What's in there? What's in there? Huh? What's in the back of this? I'm going with my friend over there. So what's in there? What's in it? What is in there? I don't know. You don't know. Okay.
But now he don't know. See, officer, that looks like destruction of property. I mean, he gonna find some weed, but that's crazy. They doing all this shit, didn't even know. Now I understand if you had a tip. They just pulling cars over.
Trying to keep an eye out for that man. But I had to twist it.
Now, that's the only reason why the dog could even smell it. Cause look what they got it in. Just look what they got it in. Come on now. If they had it vacuum sealed, the dog wouldn't be able to smell it. Then, I mean, if you're gonna have it just out in some open bins, yeah, you going to jail, Bucko. Now, if I'd have been a driver, I wouldn't have got pulled over for that part. I'd have got pulled over for that. Man, we saw a black guy in a U-Haul. Y'all niggas that was supposed to be driving these. What the fuck is you doing, Mr. Harper? Well, I actually do drive these, sir. You see what I'm saying? It's not my fault. Hell, ship and deliver all the goddamn time. But man, I won't be going to Ohio because they just be free casing motherfuckers. Like, well, I saw you swerving. You're in a U-Haul from out of state. We know what that means. That usually means wait. Nah, that means y'all profiling. And that was January. So they was happy about that 700 pounds.
Or just next available driver. If there's anybody there that can drive back.
And then what's really bad about this is as long as the state you're sending this shit to is legal, you can send that shit all through the mail. It might be a lot of little packages, but it all would have went. You see what I'm saying? Touchdown. Birdies flying. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's fucking up. 700 pounds. Ooh wee. That's why the fucker in the van was supposed to be riding in front of him instead of behind him. You supposed to have two trail cars. A car in the front and a car behind, and not just like right behind. I'm talking about okay, it's a 3 mile stretch between each car. Front car 3 miles ahead, the truck in the middle, then a car 3 miles behind that one. But they fucking up.
We just need a driver to drive it back to the post. Or 1048, you're near the post, and there's a extra body there that can drive it back. Hey, 339. On scene. He's on scene. Hey, 40.
Hey, bro said, now see, that actually looks better. Look at all the vacuum seal bags. That wasn't what was smelled by the damn dog. It's that cheap shit that gets you caught up by the police. See, all this shit would have made it because it was put up nice. But these extra bins, the Chinaman threw him these extra ones. Like was actually his shit that he was trying to take with him. Because the rest of those bricks is what the whole fucking package was. You know what they gonna do with this shit? They gonna motherfucking have Christmas bonuses this year. Hell, this was January 24th. They gave somebody a happy Valentine's Day. That's what the hell happened. Cause they gonna burn it, some of it at the city disposalry, however they do it, but it's normally a public burning. You'll see a lot of weed just show up to get publicly burned, just like they used to do in the movies. But for the most part, yeah, a couple of those bricks never make it. A couple go for testing, and then the rest is publicly burned, so they can sit there and say what they did. And then it ain't even gonna be the real shit get burnt up because they gonna just be taking this shit home. Hey man, hey, don't get a dirty UA. Yeah, shit. That is a good question. What do they do after the bust? Now, a company like me, if you like Fred, you already established a company that helps the police department dispose of evidence, right? Shout out to y'all. This is why we tell y'all to get y'all own businesses. You see what I'm saying? Because then, if that would be your business to handle this for the police, imagine that call. Well, guess what? We got 700 pounds of marijuana we're going to need you to handle. Technically, they probably going to call you and say about five. You see what I'm saying? We got 500. But hold on. Let's do the math. If they told us seven, it was more than seven, right? Now, there you go. That's the only thing I got to say about it. Yeah, we got 700 pounds that we need disposed of. Oh, that's okay. I'll send my crew right over. Yeah, I'll send the guys right over to pick that up. We'll have it burnt. Do you want it on video or not? Yeah. That's about all they gonna do. They gonna say they getting rid of it. They might even burn some of it publicly, like I said, just so the crowd can actually smell some weed in the air that day. Yeah, that'll be 1 or 2 pounds with some bullshit oregano thrown as the rest. But yeah, most of that shit gonna get right back put in circulation. Yeah, that'll end up being right back in circulation for the most part, because they only put the good part on TV, and then the rest. Hell, that's just them showing.
Mr. Nice Guy was blowing up, man. We got customers from all over New York. No, not that. We even stole a few from Samson. Oh, what's that, nigga? Come on in, man. Come on, wait, man. Thanks, baby. You know, he don't know he's scared. Yeah. What can I get you today, Smokey? Love with let me get a pound of your sweetest chiba.
Now I love how Dave did this scene though. This is a classic. He got himself in a scene with himself. So as far as the writing goes, you would write yourself with the person that you would want to be delivering weed to, which would be yourself. Imagine if you was your own weed man. Oh, that's kind of what we do around here at Team DWC. Although I ain't got no current plants at the moment, which we ain't talked about. But you know, one of these days when somebody asks me, we might talk about popcorn. You ain't showed plants in a couple months. Well, I told y'all I had an NDA with a client that I couldn't. So that's why I ain't showed y'all shit. But anyways, that's a whole other topic. And I keep telling y'all, hey, we got businesses out here. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got you a LLC, a business bank account, a personal bank account, and all that shit, man, what is you doing? You see what I'm saying? Man, get you a consultation. Somebody should be teaching you better. We know the person that used to teach you ain't teaching nothing. So we're gonna have to get you a better teacher, which is why you should be watching your boy, because I've been telling y'all this shit since 2021. Yeah, about 4 years in the game. 4 years in the game. As of my birthday, too, because you know I did my first video after my birthday in 2021. But that's history in the books for y'all. Y'all can go find it somewhere. It's written down. It's public history till they delete me, right?
Some told me to bring a lot of weed, man. Pound of my sweetest chiba. You know better than that. Not in the bag, baby. That's gonna be $9,600, bro.
He said, smell it through the bag. He wasn't worried about nothing else.
Come on, man. Hang out for a minute, smoke.
He said, this just smells good.
Come on. For you, man. I'll stay for a minute, but then I gotta be going. And Smoke a Lot opened up to me like I was Barbara Walters. Ridiculous. He told me about his lawyer. He had sex with my mama. Why? Spirituality. God, if you let it help. His bad back. Doctor said I need a backiotomy. His love life. I'm in for this, man. Get away from me, bitch. I mean, talk about a guy with problems. Tough break. I can't take it so far. No wonder he smoked a pound a week. Somebody won. So now we had a famous clientele, and Green Eye's gonna miss you. And guess what else? Call me next week. About weed. About weed.
Let's see what they're talking about now.
So Ohio fully legalized the Garurba show a while back. The voters approved rec, but more importantly, home grows. And the lawmakers passed the laws to make that all happen. But shortly after that, those very same lawmakers tried to backtrack on what the voters approved by lowering the THC limits and capping extracts at 70%, cutting home grows from 5 to 6 plants, all while doubling taxes from 10 to 20%. Turns out that was not such a bright idea, as those proposals stalled, but they're not completely dead yet.
Well, some state house Republicans are trying to change the
Now, if y'all ain't noticed, I'm having problems with the laptop, which is why we ain't recording on Rumble right now. But anyways, uh, once again, Ohio's on some bullshit. The video of the 700 pounds busted was up in Ohio. Now, this video is also based upon some shit going on in Ohio, which is it's closer to date than the first one, but it's a good tie-in. Good tie-in. See my algorithm.
laws Ohio voters passed back in 2023, and this, of course, won't make some smokers happy. Dan DeRose from the 19 Data journalism team here now with these proposed changes. This is far from happening. We got a long way to go.
New legislation, Senate Bill 56 is the name of it, pitched by State Senator Republican Stephen Huffman. Hang on if you're a big proponent of recreational weed, that just hang on. It was just introduced, but you're probably not going to be happy. First of all, the home grow. Now, when Ohio's voted for it in November of 2023, the rule was you could have 12 plants at home. Well, Huffman believes that's too much. Nobody could smoke 12 plants in a year, so he wants to slash that down to 6 plants. Next up, state tax. Ohio voters said 10%. Nope, he's going to bump it up to 15%. Another big change here, that 10% was divided up into 5 different pots, a bunch of different areas. Nope, he wants all 15% to go straight to the state budget so that they can decide what to do with it. Taxes go into the state's general fund. Next up, probably not such a big deal here. It says that any weed in a vehicle, whether it's medical or recreational, has to be in the trunk. It is currently that it has to be sealed, has to have the label on it, can't.
Now, as far as anything sealed and blah, 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 I'm a home grower in a container. I put it in and you're not going to like it, officer. But I will keep the shit in the trunk. And like he just said, in the trunk. You don't have nothing in the person right there close for you to smoke. No, sir, Bob. But then when it is time to smoke, then what do? Well, you do exactly what the fuck I say do. Keep the weed in the trunk, take you out that little blunt, smoke it outside the car while the car is parked wherever the fuck you are, not close to any buildings, preferably. Yeah, it's kind of like that when you're traveling, because hell, I tell you all the damn time, don't get caught with that blunt being lit, because that'll be the worst thing. Don't get caught with it just being put out either, because they gonna hit you with a driving under the influence. They ain't gonna hit you with the possession. They gonna hit you with a DUI. Now, unless you got a medical degree and you was seriously having a panic attack, and I had to stop and smoke, which leveled me back out. You see what I'm saying, officer? And the way they told me to do my medicine is if I'm having a panic attack while driving, I'm supposed to pull over, smoke, make sure that I'm okay to go back to driving. If not, call somebody. Guess what I did? I was pulled over because that's why I said you always pull over. That gives them a reason to come. They supposed to stop and help you now, right? Right. See, you got to know the story ahead of time. You can't be no rookie. Can't be no geek in these streets. You got to be handy with the steel. Earn your keep. Talk about some regulators. Mount up. See, I didn't hit the button and it still don't want to play. I might have to get a whole new laptop. Or maybe I'll just get a tablet. That'll be even better. Well, he used to record the screen of his laptop. Now he just show his tablet.
Be open. No,
upgrade some technology. Get the Bobby a coffee, man. I need some tech support.
So he wants all weed in the trunk. Nothing there about what you do if you don't have a trunk. Next up, oils and vapes, the THC
Yeah, because if you got an SUV, where the fuck's the trunk supposed to be? I gotta put it under the spare tire.
90%.
Make it look really suspect.
70%. When it comes to the THC and actual weed that you smoke in the plant, they're leaving that alone at 35%. All just pitched. Nowhere near changing. This is going to be a long process. We're in a lame duck session. We'll see if it ever even.
That shouldn't go nowhere,
Brian.
okay?
Now, you guys would recall when we reported on those proposed changes a couple months back, and a lot of people over in Ohio were not happy about those proposed changes. In particular, the taxes, cutting home grows, the capping of those THC limits. Everything seemed to go against what those voters actually voted on. But just like you guys would have heard in that clip, a lot of those laws actually did not come into force because they were still being debated, and also because a lot of those Ohioans actually pushed back on those laws and let the lawmakers know that those are not satisfactory. We're not happy with it. Now, despite the people speaking out and making their voices heard, Governor DeWine down there in Ohio actually urged the lawmakers to make some of these changes and really try to push those changes through. Check it out.
Home grow is back in the bill, but it's going to be limited to only 6 plants per home, not the original 12 that was in issue 2. Also included a process for immediate expungement of possession convictions upon request, and there will be a public smoking ban as well. Cannot just stand on a corner and do this. Governor Mike DeWine speaking at a news conference a few moments ago.
And the proponents of issue 2 specifically stated that they want recreational marijuana regulated as alcohol is regulated in the state of Ohio. We have an obligation to implement a safe, legal market in Ohio for those people who want to use recreational marijuana. But we also have an obligation to protect the rights of those who don't want to be exposed to it.
So again, just wants to regulate it like alcohol. The Senate has not voted on the bill with the changes just yet, but they're expected to do that later tonight. Not clear when the House would then follow. Once it does, then onto the governor's desk it goes, and we will be all over that story for you tonight.
So with lawmakers pushing for changes to the recreational program that the voters actually approved, you guys can see how this could become a tricky topic. Now, despite the fact that certain lawmakers were pushing for revisions to Ohio's recreational program, it cannot happen at the snap of a fingers. In fact, it has to go through the various houses, the Senate, and finally lands on the governor's desk, and he can either sign it into law or veto it. Now, it seems that it didn't even make it to the governor's desk because that bill to make changes to those laws have stalled once again. Have a look.
5:30 starts.
I don't know that something would not be possible. That doesn't jive with the conversations I've had with the speaker.
Well, Ohio lawmakers are mulling.
So, for those that are slow, because I know some people out there are slow, unless you're like me and you're super fast, and then when you get high, you slow things down. And you know, we all got superpowers, right? Yeah, mine's bullet time in real life. But anyways, what they just said, for those that didn't catch it, was these actual changes have been getting stalled out, which is actually good on that part because that means they haven't been able to take effect. So it's still the 12 plants for right now. Although they're trying to cut it down to 6. But given that Congress is on a normal BS, that's the good thing about this whole situation, is what he's saying. So you can still be getting off your 12 until they know that they might lower it to 6. But you know, you gotta hope that they don't. Or like he said, that the guy in the governor's office throws it with a veto because he's like, this is not what the people said they want. And we're not doing that. Shouts out to reminding people, hey, if the vote is 80%, you make sure that that 20% shows up when it's time to do the 20% part, because we're going to be out here smoking weed and doing what the fuck we want to do. And the 20% can, you know, adjust to their home, because that's where you're going to be sitting at home where the weed ain't, because you don't want weed there. This cough is annoying. It's been like a couple weeks. I ain't even been sick, and I still got a cough. And you know I ain't gonna quit smoking, so don't even say that goofy shit.
Several changes to the state's
Well, if you
recreational
stop smoking for a few
marijuana
days,
laws.
it might
Thank you
clear
for
up.
staying with us. For
Nah,
NBC4
it
at
better shut the fuck
5:30,
up,
I'm
'cause I got
Jennifer
shit to be
Bullock.
smoking.
I'm Anna Hoffman. That bill has stalled again. NBC4 State House reporter Natalie Fahmy joins us live with why. Natalie, what's going on?
Anna Jen, leaders are citing more than a dozen changes between the House and Senate and what they want to get done. But those leaders are taking a different tone about all of it.
I think the conversations have gone pretty well on it.
I'd like to try to get those resolved by next week. I'm not very optimistic about it, though.
Ohio Senate President Rob McCauley and Ohio House Speaker Matt Huffman both want to pass a bill to change recreational marijuana laws, which voters approved back in 2023. But Huffman says a new list of 16 issues from the Senate stalled the bill's passage this week.
I just told my caucus, we're not going to just say okay because we're so anxious to pass the marijuana bill, which I'd like to get it done, but we're not going to give up House priorities to do that.
The bill aims to do things like decrease the legal THC level by 20% and only allow smoking on your private property. McCall, he thinks it can still get done.
I think maybe there was a misunderstanding as to where we might have been on the bill as both chambers.
The bill also looks to pull funding from local governments that have dispensaries. Right now, host communities receive 36% of the tax revenue. Republican leaders want to reallocate that, sending much of it back to the state's general revenue fund. Ohio House Minority Leader Allison Russo says the whole bill is a step too far.
I have full faith that voters knew what they were voting on.
Lawmakers also want to regulate Delta 8 in this bill. It's a low-level THC that gives someone a similar high to marijuana.
So it's pretty clear what's happening here, guys. The voters approved one thing and the lawmakers are now trying to change it. But that being said, there are certain lawmakers who agree with what the voters have approved and are not trying to change the laws. So it seems to me that there's a little bit of infighting between these actual lawmakers, especially when it comes to the regulations surrounding the good herb. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, because I do want to show you guys how Ohio's actually pulled in tons of money from the good herb, and also pre-rolls are finally hitting shelves. But before we get into that, just a quick reminder, if you guys are getting value from this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us further, join the ICANN VIP Bean Club, or just buy us a cup of coffee. And if you happen to be a home gardener, try the ICANN Organics, use the code LEGAL, it works on the bundle and the beans. And we just dropped a new exclusive line, so definitely check that out before it's all gone.
They have been trying to change Ohio's recreational marijuana law since voters passed it back in November of 2023.
But just hours before the State House was supposed to vote on a compromise, state senators pulled the bill.
So News 5's Morgan Trout spoke with both sides about what happened, what are the sticking points, and what's next.
Ohio voters spoke loud and clear.
Well, I voted for it.
Like Republican State Rep Jamie Callender, who has been smoking marijuana for decades. He was a large supporter of Issue 2 in 2023, the legalization of recreational cannabis. But since then, other Republican leaders have been trying to change the law. For the past several months, the chambers have been trying to compromise on their separate bills. The Senate's proposal decreases THC content, reduces home growing from 12 plants to 6, imposes more criminal penalties, and takes away tax money from local municipalities that have dispensaries. The House's latest version had none of.
Yeah, cutting down the plant count don't make no sense because they're trying to say, oh, that's going to be too many plants. No, there are fucking 12 months, okay? You can only grow between the summer and the start of winter,
that tax
and that's
away.
supposed to last you the whole fucking year.
So it would stay in.
Recently, an agreement was reached on following most of the House version, which mainly focused on preventing children from accessing the drug. The bill was set to hit the House floor Wednesday, but in a turn of events, Republican infighting is preventing the bill from being passed.
Apparently, the Senate changed their mind.
In a shock to House Speaker Matt
They
Huffman, the
better
Senate
start
pulled
remembering.
out of the compromise.
You goofy motherfuckers voting for these people better start holding who you voted for accountable. Yeah, I know some of y'all don't like having to hold people accountable, but I mean, you see why you need to. Now look at Matt's face. Look at Matt's face over here. Matt is not liking the way y'all not holding people accountable. Like, y'all voted these people in. Look at Matt's face. Then he over here wondering why the fuck they ain't doing what the fuck they supposed to do. Because y'all voted the man and gonna let them slide because you don't like holding people accountable. No, sir, I gave you the authority to do a job, and what are you doing? Nothing. So now I gotta fucking fire you, hire somebody else, and be kicking somebody else in their ass because you ain't holding people accountable. We should have 1,000 people in this guy's comment sections. Dear Ohio. You see what I'm saying? Dear Ohio. That's all it is. Hey, I told y'all how to start the letter. Amendment 1 says I have to give you a warning, okay? I'm letting you know if y'all continue this bullshit, we will be skipping straight to Amendment 2. Yes, shout out to the Second Amendment. Hell.
To my surprise, there were a whole new set of issues, additional issues, which were raised Monday night.
A Senate ultimatum of 16 changes.
They wanted to make a mandatory sentence for passing a joint between friends.
What changed in the past 72 hours to pull the Senate out of the marijuana deal?
Well, I wouldn't say anything has changed. I think the conversations have gone pretty well. Maybe there was a misunderstanding as to where we might have been on the bill as both chambers.
Senate President Rob McCauley says that he wants to follow his version of the legislation.
I think our priorities are in the bill that we already passed.
He says that the teams will work together to actually come to an agreement as soon as possible.
I would like to get something done by the end of June.
We're not going to give up House priorities to do that.
Do you believe that the Senate will be going against the will of the voters with all of their requests?
Yes.
Because of the dug-in positions among chamber leaders, House members now speculate that likely nothing will be passed regarding candidates
Then they want to change
before the
it.
summer recess. at the Ohio State House.
Well, no, we just voted to extend it and change
How
it.
it can be so
That's not what we
complex and
voted for.
complicated when it comes to a simple issue such as legalization. There are different people who have differing ideas on what regulation should look like. Some people have really strict views while other people may not be as strict. Now, that being said, there is one big factor that these lawmakers are taking into account, and that's Delta 8, and that's the synthetic stuff. So we're going to break that down for you guys in a bit. But like I promised, let's show you guys how much money Ohio's actually raked in from legal sales since they legalized. Check it out.
Let's start with the new numbers from the Division of Cannabis Control because they really are jaw-dropping, especially since the legalization of recreational marijuana sales began just less than a year ago. Between August 2024 and June 2025, recreational marijuana sales have topped $619 million. When you combine those sales with medical marijuana, we're talking more than $2.8 billion. But as these sales skyrocket, we continue to see a Republican push to change Ohio's law legalizing recreational marijuana that voters passed nearly 2 years ago. Before lawmakers could come up with a compromise, though, they left the state house for their summer break, meaning nothing changes, at least for right now. There are two proposed separate bills the House and Senate chambers have been trying to compromise on and pass. The Senate decreases THC content, reduces home grow from 12 to 6 plants, and takes tax money away from local municipalities that have dispensaries. The House's latest version has none of those components. Right now, there are two Republican lawmakers taking on their own party trying to protect your access to recreational marijuana. State Rep Jamie Callender is one of them.
So it's pretty clear that there are a couple of big proposals up for debate down in Ohio, especially when it comes to regulation. So let's have a look at those and break those down in a little bit more detail. The controversial Senate Bill 56 is the big one, and this one will essentially overhaul the entire recreational market. This is the one that cuts home grows, lowers its THC limits, has that public consumption ban, also restricts transport of the product. It has to be transported in your trunk, and also reallocates taxes and restricts sharing. So it makes it basically a felony to share any homegrown with another adult. And that's absolutely crazy. Sharing is caring. But on the other hand, we have House Bill 160, and the House introduced its own version of the bill, and that's a little bit more of a limited version of those restrictions in the previous Senate bill. Now, just to show how the House bill proposal HB 160 will actually differ from the current laws, you guys can see up on screen it'll still reduce the THC cap for extracts, but it does not cut the home grows. But here's the kicker, it actually recriminalizes certain activities such as sharing good old homegrown with another adult, even without payment. So that's definitely a cause for concern. Now, what lawmakers have been suggesting is that the reason for them trying to pass some of these laws regulating the recreational market is Delta 8. Delta 8 is a big excuse and a big reason why a lot of these lawmakers are trying to ban the good herb. Also, synthetic derivatives derived from hemp.
Ohio lawmakers officially on summer break now, and a key piece of legislation failed to pass before they left Capitol Square for the summer. NBC4 State House reporter Natalie Fomby joins us now live to tell us what that is. Natalie?
Jared, you may have heard lawmakers talk about changing the state's recreational marijuana laws or regulating intoxicating hemp several times over the past year and a half or so. Well, again, that effort has stalled and is now on hold for several more months at least.
I am hopeful that the legislature will wrap this up and give us a bill, and we can go on to other discussions.
That's Governor Mike DeWine early last week, holding out hope that lawmakers would put a bow on the discussion. DeWine has been urging the legislature to pass a bill that regulates so-called intoxicating hemp products for a year and a half now, and the idea is bipartisan.
Of course we should regulate intoxicating hemp.
Intoxicating hemp products like Delta 8 are low-level THC products. It can give you a similar high to marijuana, but those products are not regulated, can be sold to anyone at any age, and are often found places like convenience stores. Some refer to it as
somebody else?
You can go, unfortunately, walk into too many stores and they don't ID you. You don't know what's in it. There is advertising to children. There are so many common sense things that we agree on.
So what's the hold up in getting something done? Some Republicans want to ban the product.
We all were children. Therefore, meaning at some point you're going to want to experiment with everything just so you can get a general knowledge of it. You ain't going to learn it till you go through it. That's all the kids. They're going to be kids.
Delta 8 in a lot more places.
places than I think the Speaker, the Governor, and the President would like to see it. So that's another issue.
They gonna
Ohio House
figure it
Finance
out,
Chair
right?
Brian Stewart says
Can't
too
hide the
many
world from
Republican
everybody.
members are just at odds about the details right now.
Especially when
We're
the
going to
government
take the
the one bringing
summer
it
and
in.
come back in the
Because
fall
it's a
and
war on
potentially
drugs.
take another crack at it.
Ohio House Minority Leader Donnie Isaacson says the problem is Republicans are trying to regulate Delta 8 and intoxicating hemp products in.
Start telling motherfuckers, nah, you can't harass me, officer, about this 700 pounds in the back of this U-Haul because Officer Grady in area, his badge number is 61777 out of da said to take this shit from here to here for him. You see what I'm saying? I'm transporting this shit for y'all. This is a police bus that was seized 7 weeks ago that I had to transport to be disposed of, okay, publicly. Not by you picking it up and saying it's another drug bust at 700 pounds, because they probably recycle busts also. You see what I'm saying? Shouts out to them being on some complete bullshit. Hey, remember that 2,000 pounds we busted? Yeah, we said it was 1,000. Let's put out that other 500 pounds that we ain't did shit with yet. You know, we just been sitting on it. That shit was all right, but tired of smoking that pack. Let's go get that new pack.
The same legislation that they want to change the state's recreational marijuana law, which voters overwhelmingly approved in November 2023.
If we had a clean bill to fairly regulate intoxicating hemp, we could have voted on it months ago, years ago.
Now, this is a big issue and something that I mentioned on the channel previous times in the past. Lawmakers, we love to see them lump tons of issues into one bill and try to get those bills passed. And obviously, if there are tons of controversial and competing issues, those bills are a lot harder to get passed. But on the flip side, if there was a simple bill regulating Delta 8, then it's very likely that a lot of people will be in agreement and that bill will get passed. Now, it's not all about regulations and getting stuff banned and put on shelves, because over in Ohio recently, pre-rolls have only just hit shelves. It's crazy, but check it out.
Around this time last year, legal recreational marijuana became legal in Ohio.
So in that time, some companies have recorded almost double in their profits.
Brady Williams joins us with a look at the state of the cannabis.
Getting a cannabis plant to flower like this and getting it to full maturity takes time. It takes constant pruning, constant gardening like any plant. Getting all of this here takes just as much work. That's the way these businesses work. They're constantly gardening them, getting the industry itself to grow, and they're still looking at expansion.
You know, a group of 5 of us, all local Cincinnati business owners, decided to join and build something that we think can really serve not just Cincinnati, but the entire state of Ohio.
Cannabis products here at King City Gardens begin with these mother trees in the mom room, from which all their plants, each different strain, and all the weed they produce originate. Co-founder Kaveh Azadeh says the company itself started with him and several other business owners who brought in cannabis experts.
So I think if you bring that cannabis experience with the business side of things, I think that's when you take the next step.
The trimmings from a mother tree are propagated, and the plants branch out into fully formed plants of their own. Azadeh says these techniques are how they started their business on the medical side, but a year ago, the state of Ohio opened up recreational sales, which he says really helped the company branch out.
Not only did it go 2 times sales, but it also attracted a lot of other states. So a lot of these dispensaries, especially in Cincinnati, we're getting a lot of foot traffic from Indiana, Kentucky, which has helped that growth. But I think for the state of Ohio, it's done a great job of being able to give the product to any consumer.
It takes constant pruning and precise conditions to keep their plants not only thriving, but compliant with state regulations. It's meticulous work. So was the rollout of recreational marijuana. Azadeh says he and any other cannabis business owner has been monitored closely, and the rollout of allowable products has been slow.
And we feel very confident that not only is it going to get rolled out, but it's going to get rolled out the right way.
Some of the finished, dried, inspected product you see here is going to be part of the latest rollout. And that's quite literal. Pre-rolled joints were just approved by the state, and the first sales began last week.
It represents anywhere within 15 to 20% of the market, and It also gives the people easy use. You're going in there, you're buying a pre-made item, right? It's a joint that's already made for you. So I think how easy it is to walk in a dispensary and be able to buy something like that, it's going to make it much more attractive for people to go into the dispensary.
It's more attractive.
Cannabis sales
Yeah,
hit
you just go in
$2.5
and pay
billion
$8
in the
for a
state, with more than
joint.
700 million of that coming from recreational sales.
So massive
They're
profits are coming
somewhat
in,
decent.
tax revenues coming in, and finally stuff like are hitting the shelves. So partner that with the fact that some
Then
of
you
these
figure out which
regulations
company
failed to
actually has
pass, and
decent
that's
pre-rolls,
good news
right?
for Ohio. Now, like I said,
That's how the
despite the
father
fact that
sons
these
weed
regulations have stalled, it
down there
does
in
not mean that it's
Arizona.
dead in the
Appreciate
water,
them.
and that's something that Senator
Yeah, they
Huffman
got some high
spoke on
quality
recently, so
fucking
let's have a
rolls.
listen.
I spoke with senators on both sides of the aisle about how this legislation would impact Ohio.
That's 10 joints a day. 10 joints a day seems to be a lot.
Ohio District 5 Senator Steve Huffman pushing for Senate Bill 56, the legislation putting tighter
I
restrictions
must
on
not have heard
recreational
about Snoop
marijuana.
Dogg. That dude
If people
smokes
still want to grow it, they
84
can
blunts in a day,
grow it. It would
every
be down
day,
to 6
on an
plants in the
average.
entire household
I mean, he smoked
inside so that other
from
people
6
can't
in the
get to it.
morning
But to try to
to
make
10
things
o'clock
more
at night,
reasonable
6 blunts
and
an hour.
safer for people.
So there you have it, guys. It seems to me that those lawmakers are definitely going to come back with further regulations down in Ohio. So you guys need to look out for that. And what do you guys think about him saying the 10 J's is too much? Why is he babysitting? I mean, anyway, it's not about what I think, it's about what you guys think. So drop it in the comments down below and let me know what you guys think about everything that we discussed in today's video. From lawmakers cutting home grows, increasing tax.
I mean, the most blunts I
Taxes and
smoked
just
was
being
like
downright
26,
babysitters.
27.
Drop it in the comments and let me know what you guys think about all that.
I did a
Now, I'm pretty
video
sure
on
that
it.
you guys may have missed this,
Check
but
it
there
out in
is
the
a state
playlist,
where
right?
growers attract. And I'm talking all of their personal information is on
I think we called it Thanksgiving.
a
Yeah. It's in the Team DWC playlist. It's classic. It's like 9, 10 hours live. Putting it in. I might have fell asleep, but I'll be all right. Yeah, I was still hitting the blunt. Fucking sitting there past the fuck out sleep, just puffing. I watched the playback myself, so I know what I'm talking about for those who don't know.
on a registry. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's absolutely crazy, and it's coming up right
I'm gonna have to
now.
get this damn laptop fixed. It's really bugging, man. Hopefully, I have something worked out by Saturday. Yeah, I mean, I can still go live on Rumble and get Rumble and both videos done. So, it's just annoying to see all these glitches because I know what the problem is that I'm having problems. But yeah, y'all just see the circles, right?
Mr. Nice Guy. We met all kinds of customers, like this guy here. He's what we call an enhancement smoker, because he thinks that marijuana makes every activity that much better. Absurd.
You're Scarface, right? Yeah. I love Al Pacino, man. You ever see Son of a Woman?
Yup.
You ever see Son of a Woman? That's the way to see it, man. It's just wow.
$60, yo.
Man. Did you ever see the back of a $20 bill, man?
No, I don't know, yo.
Did you ever see the back of a $20 bill? On weed? Oh, there's some weird shit in there, man. There's a dude sitting in the bushes, man. Does he have a gun? I don't know, man. I don't know. What? Red team go! Red team go! It's just some weird shit, man.
Man, you're fucking crazy, yo.
Oh, it's cool. Thanks, man. Hey, yo, wait. Dude, I'm gonna check out the stars later. It's really trippy. Especially on weed, man.
Why is that man so goofy? You got much shit over, do I? Probably. Overworking an employee that's already tired. I'm tired, Fred. I don't want to hear that shit. Work, beach. Yeah, by beach, I do mean my equipment. You acting like you punk beach, okay? You can still call something a bitch. Yeah, because it's a derogatory term for a reason. Hell, like I keep reminding people, I don't give a fuck about YouTube saying what that community guidelines say you can and can't do. Hell, I age restrict my videos for a reason. If kids is watching me, go sit your ass in the corner and take notes.
Oh, look at these monsters. All right, this is around 3 o'clock of this morning. The thieves you can see break the glass at the door and then start going right for the registers. All 3 places, going to the cash register and then going to the bathroom.
After the burglars tore up Pearson's office, Glendale police say the duo smashed their way into El Pavo Bakery 2 doors down.
Oh, they didn't stop.
It's frustrating, especially when it looks like they're young people.
Police say the
Young
suspects only
people?
got
Why
away
does that make it more
with the 3
frustrating?
business.
Why would they say old people was out here robbing shit? I mean, I'm 40. I don't even feel like robbing shit no more. And I used to love that shit. But why would they not expect it to be young people? Old people is not got time for that shit. Because first of all, you doing too much going out and physically busting up somebody's shit. That's doing too much, okay? Nah. I catch you drunk coming from the club, motherfucker. Oh, I can't tell on myself. You know, we got an NDA these days. Can't talk about what I would do because that might get me in trouble. Hit play.
In Strip Mall. Investigators are trying to get fingerprints from what the suspects touched and find the car they were seen in on security video.
What? This isn't the only strip mall that got robbed
Inside a
recently.
local Kohl's store, and the drama doesn't end there.
Put your hands behind your back, dude. Hey, stop! Hey!
LAPD officers go after a suspected shoplifter in this Sun Valley Kohl's.
Take it back.
Surveillance video from the store shows a different angle as those officers move in on 49-year-old Greg Pekarek, crouched down behind a clothing rack. As they approach, Pekarek takes off, running through the racks, but he doesn't get far.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Stay on the ground!
He tried to move.
One of
He
the
tried.
officers' cameras falls off onto the floor as they struggle to take the suspect into custody.
Stop fighting, dude!
Why y'all bleeping out the police officer's face?
Yeah. They can never breathe. They can never breathe. Stop fighting then.
That's because that's one of the first things police gonna do is choke you the fuck out. They don't want you breathing at first. They need to get you cuffed.
This guy doesn't stop.
He wasn't trying to go to jail, see? This guy's goofy.
Look at this guy. He goes crazy at the clothing store. Resists arrest there. The same cops bring him to the hospital, and he goes at it again. This is terrible.
He was not handcuffed to the hospital bed. It's unclear if that is protocol for the LAPD. It's certainly something they'll be looking into. But once they're finally able to get him to
Certainly
the
something
ground
they're
here,
gonna be looking into. He the last person to get away with that in LA.
tie his legs up. They use restraint with the help of a medical professional there. You can see now in aiding the officers and trying to get this guy under control.
This is ridiculous.
They're ultimately able to do that with those leg restraints that you see them strapping around his ankles. Ultimately, the DA's office did file charges on the guy for the theft at the Kohl's, which really just would have been probably a misdemeanor crime.
That's the problem. These violent criminals are getting away with brazen levels of crime because they're classified as misdemeanor. And you know what that does? That creates a city and a state full of hardened thugs with years of experience. And broad daylight ice.
Nah, see, dumbass just failed to realize what he just said. He said the only thing he had at first was a misdemeanor, but this whole dumbass video done upped his fucking charges. So now instead of them just taking him downtown, making his ass wait a couple hours and then letting his ass right back out with a court date, now his ass gonna be stuck sitting in the county for real. You see the big difference there? Like one was we was gonna hold you for a few hours, then let your goofy ass back out type shit. The second one is yeah. Now you fucking evading and escaping. That's 100% of your time right there.
Should have been done about it. Look at this. All these people just escaped from the front door of this place in front of the security guard. This happened in 2023, and you know what? Things are the exact same way today. This gas station's been getting robbed all summer this year, and nothing is stopping it.
Violent break-ins at the Orco AMPM on Alondra Boulevard and Atlantic in Compton.
June 7th, with the ICE operations, we had a major break-in. Storms of people coming in and just grabbing whatever they could grab for an 8-hour stretch. There was no cops or law enforcement of any kind.
A scene of destruction that's become all too familiar for the owner of this gas station, who asked us to keep his identity private.
2 weeks later, exactly, we were hit again. That one was more of an organized hit. About 100 people gathered here at 4 a.m. and they just broke the window at the front door. And again, they took everything.
Leaving both the business owner and employees on edge.
It was just chaos.
But this is all a misdemeanor. You see, that's the problem here. This, what you see right here on the screen, misdemeanor. Slap on the wrist. Release them. Let them do it again.
The poor employees that were here during that time, it's really scary and hard for them.
Is it hard to come in?
I love my job. It's hard because now we have to watch in our back.
June's break-ins cost the owner
This
more
is
than
terrible.
$250,000 in repairs. He's now replacing all windows with plexiglass in hopes of deterring more crime. Crime he feels law enforcement should have
that's
stopped by
insurance
now.
right there. That's why they
Why
make your
would they
ass
stop
have
this
insurance.
if it's all a
He
misdemeanor?
paid him to
Every
show
single one
up.
of
He
these
said,
people
"Hey,
doesn't go
y'all
to
do me a
jail.
favor.
What's law
What? Come
enforcement
fuck up
get?
the shop.
These are
I need some help.
get to
That's a community
continually
project."
pillage businesses.
You can tell it's a community project because look, he said it's like 100 people out here. Bro knew what he was doing with that. I ain't gonna say too much to get him in trouble, but he knew what he was doing. He organized this himself. He said, I need 400 people to show up. Y'all bust down everything, clear out everything. Everybody take everything. Hell, I just, pay my premium on my insurance. I'm behind on rent, so I paid the insurance. I need this lick real quick. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I can tell y'all don't know. I used to talk licks.
And it's state sponsored criminality at this point.
Just feel stuck. I know they're overwhelmed too, but there's just no help. Insurance does
Look
not
at this.
cover looting or riots.
Yeah, it
or
doesn't,
civil
man.
unrest. It's hurting us a lot.
He says street takeovers have also
In
been a
the gas
problem.
station.
There's donuts around the punch. This is just lawless. Someone could get hurt or killed.
Listen.
Easily. There's nothing being done. No arrest being made. Just chaos.
Okay, so this is in February.
This
People are doing
motherfucker's straight
donuts in his parking
drifting.
lot. It was only a matter
Straight
of time before they
drifting.
cleaned out the store. But all a misdemeanor.
Owner has hired armed security and put up a safety barrier at the cash register for his employees, but says with all of these expenses, another break-in would likely run him dry.
There needs to be constant.
Make it a drive
There needs
through.
to be people showing up, making arrests.
KCAL News reached
Yup.
out
What
to
you
the
want?
LA County Sheriff's Department about the
We ain't got
registered
that
break-ins.
shit.
The department is
Keep it rolling.
investigating, adding on June 7th, there was a delay in response due to a large protest and assault on
Kitty
ICE
lady house
agents.
don't get robbed like that.
So protests, anti-ICE protests are taking police out of the community. That's the problem. That's what happens when you defund your police. But ironically, as anti-ICE protests pull police out of these communities, allowing these strip malls to get raided, ICE is actually protecting these strip malls.
Federal immigration agents active in the San Fernando Valley this afternoon as unmarked cars surround a couple in a strip mall.
And federal agents got out and held them at gunpoint. You'll see the video here. It appears that several of the people inside refused to get out at first. You can see the federal agents yelling at them to open the windows and get out. Ultimately, they did shatter one of the windows. You see a woman there on the side in the front passenger seat. She's yelling at the agent that she'll sue them if they touch her. You see two of the people being taken into custody. They were ultimately taken by those federal agents. It's unclear what the federal agents wanted them for or what the reason for the stop originally was. The woman there,
Unclear. These are ICE agents pulling illegal fugitives off the streets in front of the very strip malls that are getting plundered all around California. This strip mall is now safer.
Maybe.
also
Not
detained
necessarily.
briefly, but then she was ultimately
Yeah, they
released.
detained her because of her
After
mouth.
her release, she talked. She was very frustrated about the situation.
Because she's
and
hanging
the
out
fact
with
that the
criminals.
LAPD showed up.
Grocery store, the pieces of shit, and they came, they followed us all the way from Northridge, and they tackled us down, and that's it. And that's it.
Did they take someone?
They took somebody, took two people, and that's it.
What are the people that they took?
They didn't have a warrant.
They don't need one to arrest illegal immigrants.
They're just friends that I know, and that's it. But they didn't do anything. They just
They
wanted
didn't
to
do anything. They just broke into America. They're just here illegally. No big deal.
They wanted to prove their point and be following people for miles, and that's it. We didn't get out the car, and then here comes this freaking guy, bashing and dragging everyone out from the car. That's it. And then I call the cops. Of course, I call the cops because they're unidentified people.
Oh,
and they don't do
she
shit.
called the cops on her own boyfriend.
Now, tonight, the LAPD tells me, the Van Nuys lieutenant tells me that they actually got a call from the federal agents who requested assistance from them after they said a large crowd started forming around the car that they were trying to take the people into custody with. Now,
You know what's crazy? The police are nowhere near these strip malls. They've got to be called to the scene of a crime-infested neighborhood by federal agents who are in fear for their very safety while they try to make this place safer. This is terrible. But there's another business ICE is out there protecting. Oh, got that guy.
Now at
right there.
6:45,
He's going
immigration
somewhere else.
enforcement hits Hollywood. Video shows a chaotic and confrontational scene when mass
There's
federal
a Burger King
agents
back there.
swarm a Home Depot parking
Oh,
lot.
Home Depot.
This all unfolded on Sunday. Guar Venegas reports.
We still don't have an official response from DHS as of what happened yesterday. We know from the video shared with NBC4 that 2 individuals appear to be detained. We see agents pushing them into one of those unmarked vehicles. We can also hear some of the witnesses with that heated exchange with the agents yelling out stuff. And there's also in the background you can hear what appears to be some of the activists that are yelling, immigration, don't say anything. All of these factors interacting during these raids. In fact, this morning
we now know that the party of political violence wants to take action against these agents. It's why they're forced to wear masks and draw their firearms to protect themselves. But as you're about to see, all of California's crime problems are because they won't take care of the little things.
It's been plagued with problems since it opened. LA's 6th Street Bridge is currently covered in graffiti, and thieves are stealing copper wiring. That means many of the lights here aren't working. And LAPD officers are now drawing attention to the ongoing problems on this broken-down bridge. NBC
Brand new bridge, too.
Took a trip there today to see what it looks like.
Look at this.
When the 6th Street Bridge opened in 2022, it quickly became one of the city's biggest attractions. Now, a little more than 3 years later, some say it's a bit of a mess.
Of course, it looks like a waste.
X, LAPD's Lillian Carranzo with the Central Bureau said in part, quote, "Our 6th Street Bridge in Los Angeles no longer lights up at night, and it is covered with graffiti. Thieves repeatedly..."
Listen, if the police are posting on X complaining about how they can't stop crime, you know you got a problem.
...steal the copper wiring and have left the bridge in the dark. Patrol has been increased and graffiti removal requested. Charles lives in the Arts District and walks the bridge often.
This used to be a beautiful, clean bridge. When I look at it, there's so much graffiti everywhere.
What do you mean used to be? It just opened. It's like this instantly.
Some of the sidewalk.
Now, see, there goes somebody in LA. Get you a little LLC, charge the state for cleaning up their bridge. You know it's going to be continuous work because they're not doing nothing to stop people. So you come out and clean up on Monday, it's right back painted up Friday. So the next Monday, you coming right back. That sounds like consistent weekly pay from the county of LA. Hell, I need to be in LA for a couple months. I'll be out there cleaning it up, getting that good. Hold on, let me charge y'all $10,000 a motherfucking week to clean this up type vibe. But yeah, that's $10,000 a week now. Now you see how Fred thinks. Okay, I was born on the 15th. Okay, for those who didn't know.
Bridge's barriers are covered in graffiti, and so are the
Let's
bases
check that.
of almost every arch on this bridge.
The first thing, the feet.
Good news, LA Council member Isabel Jurado's office said today they've now hired the Los Angeles Conservation Corps to help clean up the bridge.
So now they can just not solve crime and then throw money at the problem. See, what this is, public safety in these places that don't care about it, it's actually a grift. It's a way to take money and just suck it out of the pockets of the public and of the local treasury and distribute it to groups that are going to go and clean up the constant graffiti. How often do you think these groups are going to have to come to this place and remove the spray paint, which has showed up right after this place opened?
This morning, crews removed graffiti on 6 of the arches.
Oh,
As
6
the
of
officer
them.
noted, graffiti is just part of the problems on this $588 million bridge. If you take a walk with me on this bridge, you'll see that a lot of these high voltage boxes have had their tops removed.
Oh my
People
goodness.
have been stealing copper wire. That's why the lights are out.
The bridge used to be lit up, and now the lights are gone. So
It's not even
it'd be really
safe.
good to have the lights come back on the bridge one day.
You can't even drive over this thing at night because the lights that are required to be there aren't even there. That's ridiculous. When people are stealing wires and salvaging the society just so that they can make money, you know the place is absolutely doomed. And probably the most frustrating part of all of this is LA already has what the mayor's office calls a heavy metal task force that will, quote unquote, continue to hold people accountable as they're doing right before our eyes. Apparently they've made more than 100 arrests. But so what? None of those arrests scare any of these criminals because there are so many criminals roaming these streets getting away with whatever they want. These guys have nothing to fear from this local justice system that doesn't put people in jail. That's the issue here. What do you think about this? Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.
Hey, bro, which city would you live in? Gotham City or Metropolis? That's easy. Gotham City. What? Why Gotham City? Because think about it like this. Most of the problems you'll run into in Gotham, especially the villains, can easily be dealt with by keeping a strap on you. No, that's a lie. I don't believe that. Bro, the only people you really have to worry about is Clayface, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, Bane, and Killer Croc. Everybody else is fair game. Because I know for a fact, Joker, Penguin, Harvey Dent, Scarecrow, and everybody else in this motherfucker is not bulletproof. I know that shit for a fact. I mean, you do have a point on that. But Metropolis, hell no, you'll die within the first week. I mean, with Superman's Metropolis, doesn't that count for anything? And look at Superman Rogues Gallery. Metallo, Atomic Skull, Lex Luthor, Brainiac. Last time I checked, a lot of these motherfuckers are bulletproof. The fuck is a gun gonna do to that shit? That is true. Exactly, so I'll take my chances in Gotham City, bitch.
For decades, the man sold you on one simple, terrifying story. Legalize weed and crime will skyrocket. It was the boogeyman every prohibitionist, politician, and police chief trotted out to scare you. We were warned about way.
Hey, shout out to my lawyer. Y'all see he over here drippy as fuck today. Shouts out to the drip appreciation. You know, it ain't gay to appreciate that another person is dressed well. You see what I'm saying? He's over here wearing it fit. You dig? No homo, no Randy, no Diddy or whoever the fuck y'all call him these days. We don't do that around here. But you know, he's dripped up. He got the bow tie on, nice blue fucking collar. You dig? Yeah, appreciate the fit. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta know how to dress. Grown man shit.
Violence, theft, and drug-fueled chaos in the streets. We still are. By Dr. Ben Carson as of September 2025. This powerful narrative, more drugs, even a simple plant, equals more crime, was presented as a fundamental truth, shaping laws and fueling public policy for decades. But what if their entire story was wrong? What if it was all just political bias based on fear and dogma and not facts? Well, I'm Tom Howard, a lawyer who has to prove facts in court from time to time. And before I ever passed the bar, I was a political science major who spent an unhealthy amount of time with statistical models and regression analysis. And when you ignore political talking points and actually follow the data from over a decade or more of legalization, the story isn't just different. It's often the opposite because you had dogmatic investment in the lie. I was not the best party guest in college. Therefore, today we're diving into actual numbers. We have 5 data-backed, surprising ways legal marijuana may actually be making us safer by lowering crime. Except for the last one, we're going to have one outlier. Likes and subscribes for that, people, and let's dig into it. Number 1, freeing up the front lines. First, the most obvious point, legalizing cannabis frees up police to do their actual jobs. Or at least you think that would happen, but Illinois is weird. For example, raw cannabis smell means that you have probable cause to search a vehicle because it is supposed to be in a smell-proof container. However, burnt cannabis smoke is not probable cause because cannabis is legal in Illinois. And hemp is openly competing against the cannabis market, making the whole thing, to borrow a legal term, bananas. For the states that actually have regulated cannabis all the same, for example, Michigan, before legalization, chasing marijuana users was a massive drain on law enforcement resources. Now, let's be precise. According to a landmark ACLU report back in 2010, arrests for marijuana possession made up over half of all drug arrests in the United States. Half. And it was not for trafficking. 88 of those arrests were for simple, non-violent possession. Think about what that means in practical terms. That's millions of police hours spent on paperwork, court appearances, and processing minor offenses. It's millions of taxpayer dollars spent on something that's now sold in a brightly lit store down the street. Every single officer spending their shift writing up a college kid for a dime bag was an officer not investigating a burglary, or a domestic assault, or a homicide. If you want to be tough on crime and for law and order, you want weed regulated and legal. As the former police chief for Washington, D.C., Kathy Lanier, once bluntly put it, all those arrests do is make people hate us. The moment states legalize, an entire category of crime all but vanishes overnight. The numbers are striking. The Colorado Division of Criminal Justice reported that between 2012 and 2019, total marijuana-related arrests in the state fell by a staggering 68%. And it's not just them.
68%.
Washington, California, Oregon, and Alaska
Damn.
have all seen similar drops after they legalized it. Now, this isn't just about making
Yeah,
fewer
I'll take a
arrests.
67%
It's about
decrease
reallocating
in arrests.
finite resources. In
That
2018,
means
a study of
police
the
will
Journal
be
of
actually
Police Quarterly
policing.
dug into this. Now, I know what you're thinking.
I might actually get
Police
fucking
Quarterly
locked
as a
up.
journal? I know, right?
They're gonna
It
be like,
found
Mr.
that
Harper,
after
we actually
legalization
did
in
some
both
shit back
Colorado
in
and
the day.
Washington, police departments were able to solve more serious
Yeah, we
offenses.
gotta watch you.
In
No,
some cases,
I'm good.
clearance
I'm
rates.
cool. I
Clearance
do
rates is the
YouTube
percentage
videos,
of a
y'all, bro.
reported case that actually results in arrest. Those
Donate
increase
small
for
buy me a
property
coffee
crimes
so
like
make sure I
burglary
don't have to go to
and
jail,
vehicle
right?
theft. Now, the effect wasn't uniform across every
Shit.
single precinct because, reality is
That's
pretty
what I
complex
tell
and all.
them now. Like,
But the
yeah,
initial findings
I don't
confirm a
give a fuck if
simple
they donate to the
common
buy
sense
me a
idea.
coffee. Yeah,
When
I
you
just do
stop
it
telling
this
people
every
to
week
hunt for
regardless.
nonviolent pot smokers, they got a lot to do to hunt for actual criminals. Now, it's the type of shocker that police unions don't seem to get by arguing that the smell of marijuana should always stay probable cause, even after legalization. If only they would use those noses to solve actual crimes nationwide. Number 2, hitting the cartels where it hurts. Now let's follow the money. For half of a century, our federal drug policy was basically a multi-billion-dollar price support program for violent international criminal organizations. By making cannabis illegal, the government guaranteed a monopoly for violent drug cartels and high prices. Trafficking marijuana was a cornerstone of their business model. Prices were thousands of dollars a pound. Every dollar spent on the illicit market was a dollar that could buy weapons, fuel turf wars, and also buy more drugs to continue to spread those throughout the street. It would perpetuate a cycle of horrific violence. However, legalization strikes a direct and devastating blow to that economic engine, just like it did to bootleggers with the end of alcohol prohibition. When a state creates a regulated market, consumers get a safe, tested, and legal alternative to the guy. Local tax-paying businesses start competing directly with those criminals. Those criminals do use legal prices to set their prices and avoid on taxes, yada yada. But as a result, the illicit market shrinks. Don't take my word for it.
Still.
Data from the
I
United
be
States
going hard some
Border
nights,
shows a
remember?
dramatic and sustained drop in marijuana seizures in the
nighttime.
southwest border as more states have come online. Now, that may be because cartels started exporting our better weed or growing it locally and then just inverting it into the legal market or shipping it online as hemp. Still, this economic disruption appears to be directly linked to a reduction in violence. Here's a crucial distinction the fearmongers always miss. A landmark 2021 Cato Institute study found that the initial wave of medical marijuana laws in states that border Mexico was associated with a 13% reduction in overall violent crime. This included a 19% drop in robberies, a 10% drop in murder, and the most shocking statistic of it all, homicides specifically tied to the drug trade plummeted by 41%. The logic is pretty straightforward. When you start to take away the profits from a violent and illicit market, you reduce the incentive for that violent and illicit market. Recreational legalization and the quasi-legal hemp market built upon this foundation, further disrupting a business model that thrived on prohibition. Let's bring it federal. And, since we're talking about prohibition, moving on to number 3, the alcohol substitution effect. It's called substitution. That's basically a polite way of saying, you're in the market for a drug, you can have this or that. And typically, it was always alcohol. Now, in some states, you can use cannabis instead of alcohol. And if you substitute cannabis for alcohol, you probably consume less alcohol. Hence, big alcohol concerned about their plummeting sales, if you've seen that in the news recently, and the skyrocketing sales of hemp seltzers. And as you're watching this, you probably have some experience with the plant, and so that you know that if you are chilling on the couch and stoned, you are way less likely to get into a bar fight. It's a cold, hard, data-backed fact. Alcohol is the undisputed champion of turning disagreements into assaults. It lowers inhibitions, severely impairs judgment, and is a major factor in a massive percentage of violent crimes. Cannabis, on the other hand, is not typically associated with that kind of aggressive behavior. But you may still pig out. Alcohol gives you the munchies. Cannabis gives you the munchies. Oh well. What the data is now confirming is that when people can legally buy cannabis, some of them drink less alcohol. Multiple studies have shown that a significant number of consumers report substituting cannabis for alcohol at least some of the time. While the research on the direct causal link between these is still developing and not completely unequivocal, the potential for this shift is quite enormous. If we move from a substance heavily linked to violence and to one that is not really detrimental and may actually be a net positive for public safety, resulting in less alcohol-related crime, we do have some study out of this. Of course, we're going to look to California, where they have decades of medical or adult use. And in that study from California, over 3.5 million Kaiser Permanente Northern California patients were watched over 4 years. Researchers found sustained declines in weekly drinking and heavy episodic drinking following the passage of Prop 64 in 2016 that legalized it in the state, especially amongst those 35 to 49-year-old demographics. Since alcohol is a major driver of violence, DUIs, and other crime, substituting it with cannabis, especially when people drink less, is a straightforward win for public health and safety, with measurable potential to reduce alcohol-related crime. So, can you smell the safety that cannabis is cooking? Oh, you hate the smell of cannabis? Well, isn't that better than someone you care about being the victim of a crime related to alcohol or not related to alcohol? Don't answer that if you're trying to score brownie points with certain politicians. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, the surprising safety of dispensaries. What about the dispensaries themselves? The fear was these shops would be magnets for crime, bring chaos to our commercial districts, depress property values. But here, the data says a very different, if not opposite and complicated story. One of the most detailed studies on this, published in the Regional Science and Urban Economics Journal, looked at neighborhood-level crime data in Denver. The researchers found that opening of a recreational dispensary was associated with a roughly 19% decline in crime in the immediate area. Now, why is that? Maybe it's because something that the urban planners like to call the eyes on the street theory. Legal dispensaries aren't shady operations. They are professional, regulated businesses. They bring foot traffic, bright lighting, mandatory security, high-definition cameras on site, and the likes of that, and very often security guards. And this activity acts as a natural deterrent to street crime, which thrives in vacant, dark, desolate areas. By turning an empty storefront into a bustling, monitored business, a dispensary can actually revitalize and secure a block. Of course, it's not that simple. Stick around for number 5. The reality is actually kind of messy. The same Denver study also noted that a slight increase in property crime in adjacent neighborhoods to those dispensaries, suggesting that crime might just be displaced rather than eliminated entirely and go commit it where they won't get caught. And other studies in other cities have found neutral or mixed results, but the data directly shatters a simplistic, fear-driven assumption that dispensaries automatically bring with them crime. Of course, now, to retort on that, number 5, where crime actually went up. Of course, there were no dispensaries that existed before, so you couldn't rob one. And now, because dispensaries do exist, that is one area where crime predictably becomes a serious problem. Violent robberies targeting the dispensaries themselves. This isn't a failure of cannabis legalization. It's a spectacular failure of mostly federal, but then very often state and local policy, because there is no federal policy, because marijuana is still a Schedule I drug, the same category as heroin. Most federally insured banks refuse to provide any services to cannabis businesses. It's like 93% of them. They are terrified to be charged with money laundering by the federal government. They don't think it's safe and sound banking practices to openly and notoriously be violating the laws of the federal government. Makes sense. This forces a multi-billion-dollar state legal industry to operate in a large amount of cash, more than it ordinarily would. Now, I want you to imagine a business with vaults full of cash and a high-value product that is legally barred from putting its money into banks. You've just created a magnet for armed robbery, especially because some states have more lax security requirements. For example, product can be all over the floor, not locked up, and many different locations, some further away from law enforcement or another security risk. So this really isn't a cannabis problem as much as it's a regulatory problem resulting primarily from too much cash. Blaming the dispensary for getting robbed is a bit like blaming the jewelry store for having jewels and therefore getting robbed. The real culprit is a brain-dead federal policy that forces a legitimate, tax-paying industry to paint a giant bullseye on its back, especially if the local and state regulations don't require something onerous like we have here in Illinois with our dispensary. Look at our videos where we talk about our dispensary for stuff on that. But we have, I think it was last count, 32 of the state's attorneys generals begging on Congress to pass the Safer Banking Act to help these dispensaries and reduce their cash on hand, making them far less attractive targets. But the bill remains stalled, or I don't even think it's been introduced in this current Congress in 2025. So there you have it. For decades, the debate over legal marijuana was dominated by fear and propaganda. But now the data is finally coming in and the facts are starting to paint a very different picture. We've seen that freeing police from enforcing minor marijuana laws allows them to focus on more serious crimes. We've seen that legal markets hit profits of violent drug cartels. We've seen a potential shift away from alcohol, a substance far more linked to violence and crimes than marijuana. And we've seen that dispensaries themselves can sometimes make their neighborhoods safer, not more dangerous. Of course, we've seen a new business called a dispensary, which can get robbed. The story of legal marijuana and crime is not how we're told. It's a story of how dismantling a failed federal policy can have surprising and positive consequences. But I want to know what you think. Which of these data points surprised you the most? Which ones did I miss? Let me know your take in the comments. And if you appreciate the analysis that follows actual data instead of political hype, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, click the bell, give us a like. We're here every week cutting through the BS and trying to get to over 100,000 subscribers. And for more on these topics that you clearly enjoy if you made it this far, watch this next video starting right now.
From summer's end till the winter comes, till gray days turn to yellow ones. I stay grinding for mine. I try to tell them once, to travel to the moon, you gotta break the elements. And battle many goons, you gotta cage the elephants. It's elementary, I speak with a certain eloquence. I smoke hella blunts, a habit I've been developed since I was a young boy playing the silver ball. See them stand, feel them fall, Metallica, kill them all. Living like this is my last moment, but a moment could last forever. Snap a picture in that colon. Wherever you going, sip in your glass, hold it up, hit the side on mine, get the tip in the back, go in. So many days we were sitting low. Better get busy living till the day you giving and they get to go where the sinners go. Pulling the cash and spend it slow, better make it fast, but them should know. Not no money, yo, it's all expendable. You'll be out, yeah.